Hey, good day to you. This is Todd. I am a regular dude walking in the Word. My message for you today is don't go back. That's right. Don't go back. It's taken from Genesis 24, verses 1 through 9. We're talking today about Isaac getting Rebecca, okay? And it's a long chapter that we're going to break up into smaller sections. But the whole beginning of the chapter, it involves Isaac, it involves Rebecca, but they're not actually a part of it yet. This first part is just Abraham giving instructions to his servant, which we could assume is Eliezer, but we don't know that for sure, okay? The servant is never mentioned by name, all right? But here in today's section, Genesis 24, verses 1 through 9, Abraham is going to give his servant specific instructions as to what he wants his servant to do. So follow along with me. This is Genesis 24, verses 1 through 9. Okay? It says this: Abraham was now very old, and the Lord had blessed him in every way. He had said to the senior servant in his household, the one in charge of all that he had, and that's where we kind of get the idea that it could have been Eliezer, because that was the servant Abraham had mentioned earlier, okay? Eliezer could have been dead by now. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Put your hand under my thigh. I want you to swear by the Lord, that the God of heaven and the God of this earth, that you will not get a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites, among whom I am living, but will go to my country and to my own relatives and get a wife for my son Isaac. Okay? Put your hand under his thigh. That's a very personal thing. Okay? And that was the way at this time period that you kind of solidified a promise. Okay? It wasn't shaking hands, but it was a really personal thing there. Hand under the thigh. And then the servant asked him, what if the woman is unwilling to come back with me to this land? Shall I then take your son back to the country you came from? Good question here. Let's see what happens. Make sure that you do not take my son back there, Abraham said. The Lord, the God of heaven, who brought me out of my father's household and my native land, and who spoke to me and promised me on oath, saying, to your offspring I will give this land, he will send an angel before you so that you can get a wife for my son from there. If a woman is unwilling to come back with you, then you will be released from this oath of mine. Only do not take my son back there. So the servant put his hand under the thigh of his master Abraham and swore an oath to him concerning this matter. 2 times Abraham mentions it here, not to take his son back there, okay? So he was very serious about this, that you will not take my son back there. I left that land. It took me a long time to get here and to establish myself here, and for the commitment, the covenant and everything with God to happen. All that, it took years and years to transpire here, okay? And he's saying, you won't take my son back there. There's no way I'm going to allow you to do that. If we can't if you can't find a wife for him, you don't have to, pursue that anymore. But he was very serious about saying, don't take Isaac back there. Okay. And so we'll talk about, being unequally yoked in the next episode as to why that was not supposed to happen. But Abraham was very serious about not going back, and mentioned this twice, and then made that had his servant make that promise, with a hand under the thigh thing. And in the same way today, our relationship with God, it's growing daily, and we're not to go back. We're not to go back into the world and I wonder, if I started smoking dope again and getting drunk every night, what would that be like? Now, God is clear. Don't go back to that stuff, okay? You left that stuff when you accepted God or accepted Jesus. You left that stuff. You left it all behind, And we're not to go back to it. And so that's the whole message today. Don't go back. All right. We have God's promises, and we have that life ahead of us. Okay. The way He's taken care of us. We're not to go back into the sinful life that we had before. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense here. Thanks for watching. I'm just a regular dude walking in the Word, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we continue our journey through the book of Genesis. Lord's blessing. I'll see you then.